If your cat hates you, you're not alone. Lots of people feel the same way, and it's nothing personal. Although it might be personal, I'm sorry. Stay tuned to find out if it is. So, I'm going to cover 4 reasons why your cat might hate you. But first, let's remember that cats are not naturally a social species. They are descended from a solitary ancestor, and they haven't evolved alongside people for very long. They essentially just domesticated themselves. They just moved in, caught a bunch of mice, we were happy to let them stay, and they were pleased to have a roof over their heads. This means we need to earn their trust to create relationships, which lots of us do really, really well. But just as quickly as we earn their trust, we can lose it too. And once that trust is gone, it can really feel like your cat well and truly hates you. You might see aggression, you might see avoidance, and some cats will just up and leave if given half the chance. So let's look at the factors that can cause your cat to hate you. First of all is whether their parents were scared of people. So think back to when your cat was a kitten and how their mum behaved around you and the breeder. The dad will have an influence too, but it's just genetic, whereas the mum will have a genetic influence, plus they will be picking up on her behaviour when they were in the litter. So it's more of a factor. So what you're looking at is whether the mum was fearful around a person. So did she hiss at them? Did she swipe at them? Was she trying to hide and get away? Was she showing distressed behaviour? Because the kittens will definitely be picking up on this, and they'll be more wary around people too. So we need to be careful when looking after feral mums, because feral cats by nature are scared of people, and if their kittens are watching this fear response, then they're going to pick up on that too. So it might be possible to rehabilitate the kittens, but the socialisation should be done away from the mum when they're old enough to spend a little bit of time away. If your cat did learn to be scared of people in their kittenhood, this is a difficult experience for them to forget. Like, their mum is a source of security. They should be able to trust their mum's behaviour. So bear with them. It's going to take longer for you to gain their trust, but you'll get there in the end. So the second factor is, hello you, so cute. So the second factor is lack of socialisation, and this is specifically between the weeks of 2 and 8 weeks of age. So think about what your kitten experiences in that time, because this is where they learn how to be adults. This is where they're super impressionable, and it will have long-term influences on their behaviour. So kittens that haven't met any people during 2 to 8 weeks, they are going to be fearful because they haven't had an opportunity to learn that people are not scary. But this doesn't mean that they can't build relationships. Some people have managed to tame feral kittens and adult cats and have a relationship with them. But what you'll tend to find is that this is a one-off. So they will build a relationship with a single person, but this won't be generalized to people in general. So if you have a feral cat at home and you've managed to build that relationship, well done you, that's amazing. But I wonder what happens when you have guests come to your home. Do you find that they have the same relationship with them, or are they still quite fearful? So between the weeks of 2 and 8 weeks of age, we want the kittens to have had really positive interactions with lots of different people. So not just men, not just women, not just adults, but a whole range of people, so that they can generalize that to people in general and not just person. So when you get your kitten, they'll be much more open to forming relationships, much more easy to trust you, and you can find that your kitten does not hate you and actually loves you. But if you have a kitten that hasn't been socialised, then this may explain why you're finding it difficult to bond and it feels like they hate you. The third reason why a cat may hate you is that they've had poor experiences in the past. So this one's really sad and is more common with rescues, but it could happen with a cat that you've had as a kitten. And it's that they've gone through a trauma, they've been abused or mistreated at the hands of humans, and understandably, then they now hate people. And you can totally understand why that might be the case. And this is a bit different to socialization in that if they have one single experience that is super horrible, then they can then generalize that to everybody. So it's one trial learning. It was so bad that it's affected them long term and it's affected their mental health, and that is not okay. Obviously, it's not okay. We know that. But if you have a rescue on your hands, or if your kitten or cat has been mistreated at the hands of a person away from the house or in the house, if you live with other people that don't like cats and aren't very nice, then you might find that this has an impact on how your cat now behaves towards you and other people. So it may be that they're scared, it may be that they're not happy around you anymore, and it may feel like they hate you. But in this scenario, just remember that they're scared, and it is going to take longer for you to rebuild that trust But if you keep it interaction super cat friendly, all on their terms, and rebuild that relationship, then you will get there. So the final reason is why I said it may or may not be personal, and that is because you and your cat may not be on the same page yet. You might want different things from each other, you may have different expectations of what you want out of the relationship, and you're just not on the same page, and that relationship is not developed. So if you have a cat that's hiding away from you a lot, then it can take time for that bond to grow, and they need to get their confidence to come out and to interact with you. So go at their pace, give them time, allow that relationship to grow, and keep all interactions as positive as you can. Don't ask too much from them. They might need that time. They probably do need that time. So really low pressure situations, and allow that bond to grow. If your cat's being aggressive towards you, then again, this is a sign that perhaps you want different things from each other. So, for example, lots of cats like being stroked around the neck for short periods of time, whereas lots of people like to stroke them all along their bodies, all up the tail. They might like to rub their tummies or grab their paws, pick them up. And so here you can see why that might result in an aggressive response if that cat just wanted a little tick around the neck and that was that. Lots of cats don't like the way in which we try to play with them as well, specifically things like rough housing. Cats aren't really very good at that. So if you're playing in a way that's upsetting them, and that they're maybe using their claws or their teeth a bit more than you would hope, then this can be a sign that actually they're probably not considering this to be play. And I never advise rough housing with cats because it always feels like it's going to lead to something challenging later down the line. So just be aware. But what I would bear in mind is that cat body language can be subtle and can completely go over your head. So during these interactions, you might find that your cat is screaming at you that they don't want you to carry on. Their ears might be going back, their tails are swishing, you might notice the fur sticking up. If you notice subtle behaviors like they might swallow or lick their nose, these are signs that they're not happy anymore. And these do happen quite often during play. They might be okay at the beginning, and then you might start to see these behaviors, and it's difficult to pick up on these during the game. So it can be really difficult to pick up on these sometimes, and you might find that you get a bite or scratch that seems to come out of nowhere, but normally there are some signs, or there have been signs that maybe haven't been listened to previously, and so you might as well just go straight for the bite or straight for the scratch. So really try to tune into your cat's body language and look at the more subtle signs that they will try to preempt any more aggression happening. But subtle body language can also mean that it's difficult for you to tell when your cat likes you. So they may not come running down to meet you at the door when you come home from work with a wagging tail jumping up at your legs. But that little slow blink, that question mark tail, and those adorable little head rubs and rubbing around your ankles are all signs that you're doing a great job and your cat does like you and does not hate you. And when you've built that trust and you have that relationship with your cat, then there's lots of resilience there. So you can step on your cat's tail accidentally and obviously hate yourself for it, but your cat won't hate you in return. You've got that history, you've got that relationship, and there is that resilience there. If you want to learn more about your cat's behaviour, then don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye. If you want